Welcome to Podula Rasa. I'm David Blank.
And I'm Jim Esch.
This is a podcast about finding something in nothing.
Welcome to Podula Rasa. I'm Jim. I'm joined by Dave Blank, and this is a show where we find something in nothing and something for nothing. It doesn't cost you anything to listen to the podcast. So you might get something out of this, or you might not. Sometimes I think we get nothing out of nothing, but, we're none the worse for wear. So welcome, Dave. How's your August been?
Oh, it's been a great August. It's been a terrific summer. We just got a dog yesterday.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah.
Tell the story about the new dog. How'd that happen?
Well, Leah was in Poland and Israel this summer and texted us at some point when we hadn't heard from her in a little while and said, can we get a dog? As she has done in the past occasionally. But she picked the right time. And we missed her a lot at that moment. So we said, yeah, we'll talk about it. And then she came back finally a couple of weeks ago. And we found a shelter here in Boston, Buffalo, and called Buffalo Cares. And we went to their open house event, which they only do once a month on Saturday. So this past Saturday, and we met one of the three dogs that we were interested in, and we just kind of connected with that dog. And we got a phone call literally this coming past Monday by the lady who's been fostering her for quite a while, I think about 9 months. And she said, you're all set for the home visit. What do you want? When can we do it? And I said, how about today? And she brought her over, and then last night, she brought her for good. And it's just been really fantastic.
What's the dog's name?
Her name is Heidi, and she's a red heeler mix. We're not quite sure exactly, but it doesn't matter. She's just got a very sweet disposition. She came to us not necessarily toilet trained, but because there's three of us, at least, she hasn't even been here 24 hours, so I'm speaking like I know what I'm talking about. But, we take her out a lot, so she's been really good.
Awesome.
No accidents, and it's nice. Last night, the first night, we had a thunderstorm, and she wasn't happy about being crated. So it was a couple of hours of barking. And then finally, my wife just went in and talked to her, and everything got silent. Like, she's in our room because we didn't want her to be alone. But at some point, we just left the room because we couldn't take the noise anymore. And then, so I was out in our sunroom, and Tosh went in, and it got really quiet. And so half an hour later, I tiptoed in because I thought, did she kill her? Like, what did she do? Both of them were asleep. So, Yeah, we love her already.
How old is she?
She is 14 months today.
Still essentially a puppy.
Yeah, I think we were hoping to possibly partner with a dog who was a little bit older, but this is how it happens. So
I think it'll be good. You can develop a long-term relationship with a dog, and
Yeah.
I think it probably won't be any trouble getting her house trained. We have a Boston Terrier, Alfie, who's 12 now. He's getting late in life, so we're he's still great for his age, but we're seeing signs of slowing down.
Yeah.
For his age, he's in really amazing shape. We got him in the summertime. When we picked him up, we got him from a breeder, and it was probably in May. I think it was Mother's Day. We picked him up and brought him home. Yeah, he just brought a lot of joy to our lives, and it was so easy to train him because it was warm out, and there was we were outside a lot anyway, and he just got the hang of it. And dogs are creatures of habit, so you just get into a routine, and then they'll stick to it.
A big part of the contract that they make with you when you take the dog is that you decompress the dog properly, and that requires like really restricting the dog as much as possible and giving her a very prescribed schedule so that she gets used to you, and then you can let after 2 weeks to a month, then you can kind of make things a little bit less restricted. And I'm glad I read about it before we actually did it because we talked a lot about it, and we said, okay, like between Leah, Tasha, and me, this is how we're going to handle the mornings and the evenings, and during the day we're going to do all these things, and it's actually, it seems to be, at least in day one, it seems to be okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really, congratulations. There's nothing like
Thanks.
having a dog or any kind of pet, dogs, cats, and everything. Like, but they're just, I think about it all the time. We have the one dog, Alfie, and then we have a cat, and he's from Philadelphia, and was a sort of a rescue shelter cat, Tabby, and he's
Yeah.
just the nicest guy. He's like such a sweetheart,
Yeah.
big lug. But I often think about it because like the pets are just always with us. Like they got us through COVID, like that whole
Right.
period. What would I have done without the pets? And we really bonded. Like we were already bonded, but we like got super bonded during COVID because we were around each other all the time. Then it's just years and years. I mean, like I said, Alfie's 12 now, so they basically have trained us. Like you train
Yeah.
them when they're a puppy, but then in adulthood, like we have to stick to their schedule now. So
Right.
it's like when it's meal time, they let you know. Like when it's time to go out, they let you know. When it's time for his morning walk, there's no denying him.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Like I sort of like my routines.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting watching mine kind of working around each other because Hooper was here first, and uh, he was a rescue also, and he when they first brought the dog in for the home visit, the cat's tail was like a bush, and then but then he was curious, and then they were kind of nose to nose a little bit, and now he's still hissing at her a little bit, but I think that they're going to get along
They'll
fine.
be fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
No blood has been spilled yet. So, and none of mine either, which has been nice because usually Hooper he attacks me, and in a day I haven't been bitten or scratched or anything. It's been lovely.
Maybe it'll mellow him out a little bit.
Maybe.
That's great. That's just wonderful
Yeah.
news. Awesome.
Yeah, I can't believe we did it. It's been a long time since I've lived with a dog full time. Yeah, so what's going on with you? I know Devin moved to Vermont.
That's the big news. That's
Yeah.
the headline. So Devin, my only child, moved to Vermont on August 1st, and it all happened pretty quickly. Devin was in New Hampshire for a summer vacation at a friend's house, and
Okay.
had found this house for rent off the grid in West Townsend, Vermont, which was advertised on Craigslist. So while they were up in Vermont, they shot over to, in New Hampshire, they shot over to Vermont to check this place out. And they really hit it off with the landlords. It's a
Hmm.
couple who live in a house just up the driveway. They built both houses,
Okay.
and it's powered by solar energy. It clicked, and it happened really fast and came together. We knew they were moving in July, so we had about a month to prepare for it, and then moved up in August. And then right on my birthday's August 12th, so that weekend we drove up for just a real quick 2-night visit and stayed in this house, and we just fell in love with it. Like the community is really cool. I like Vermont a lot. Like
Hmm.
I feel like I fit in there. Just you can see the stars at night, so quiet. Like, it's just them and the landlord who lives just up the hill, like a 2-minute walk away.
Yeah.
Just the impression I got from Vermont was there was a lot of do-it-yourselfers up
Oh
there.
my gosh, yes.
It
Yeah.
seemed like every other place had like its own backhoe, just
Yeah.
just like building the stuff. And yeah, we just had a great impression of it. West Townsend's a real small village. They have a little general store. It's become like a community center. So every Friday and Saturday they have these like outdoor pizza bakes where they have this like wood fired oven that's in a shed out and back, and they sell, delicious pizzas, and they have a little like market out there where people set up stalls
Yeah.
and people just hang out. And there's all types. There's like families, there's old people, there's like eccentric people, there's like people who could have walked out of that old Bob Newhart sitcom, which was set in Vermont, like,
Right.
and old Vermonters and rich people. You could tell some people maybe from New York. They transplanted, and
I know a lot of people who, when they retired, they moved from like Westchester County, New York, to
up to
Vermont.
Vermont.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just, basically traded home for home and like got a lot more for their money up in Vermont.
Oh yeah.
And
Sure.
plus the lifestyle, I know a lot of people around Woodstock, Vermont, and Brownsville, and it's my old stomping grounds, really.
The second day we went to visit the town of Townsend. So there's West Townsend, but the bigger village is Townsend,
Mhm.
and they were having a pickle festival. So I guess this is something they have every year, where you can buy pickles that people make, homemade pickles. Maybe they have
Sure.
pickle contests.
Did
But there
did you
was like
get any that were really hot?
the ones we got were not hot, but I'm
No.
sure you could have gotten hot
Yeah.
pickles. Pickle on a stick, basically, But it was it felt like there was like community stuff going on too, like rides and like the moon bounce, and it was just right on the town green, like a sort of traditional New England
Yep.
town
Yep.
green. Again, I just felt very comfortable there. It was like such a nice vibe. You saw some of the same people that you saw the night before at the pizza bake, because it's such a small area.
Right.
There's not a lot of people up there, so you kept running into the same people.
Yeah. I think the population of the whole state is like 600,000.
Yeah, no more than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
The phrase that kept coming to mind was hippie Norman Rockwell. Like it had this Norman Rockwell old timey, traditionalist feel,
Yeah.
but with like this hippie slant to it, because it's Vermont. It's got that
It's a different
culture.
pace. It's a totally different lifestyle, everything.
We're really hoping it works out up there. I know, like, it'll be interesting once winter hits, because it's going to be a long winter, and
Yeah.
that'll have its challenges. But we're really excited for Devon. Like it's a nice
Yeah.
new chapter.
Oh yeah. Maybe you'll follow up there and retire.
Those conversations are already happening.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we could see us doing something like that.
I lived up there for 28 years. There's elements of that I miss, on top of being closer to family, of course, but it's a different way to live. So when you were describing the sky, I was remembering our house for the last 15 years before this one. You just walk outside and the stars would just like blazing always. Miss it, because here now I have the light dome from Buffalo. It's okay, but it's different.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
You got a lot more conveniences now. Like these things are more
Oh my God,
accessible, I'm
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's only like 5 Walmarts in all of Vermont, and it was the last state to get a Walmart.
Really. Yeah, well, where I live, we have a neighborhood Walmart. Depends which side of Transit Road you want to go on, or which Tim Hortons you're going to get your coffee from.
Do you have Tim Hortons in Buffalo?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a Canadian chain. I didn't know that they had come down into Buffalo. It's no surprise,
yeah.
because you're so close to Canada.
Yeah, well, I think he played for the Bills.
Tim Horton did? Maybe he
Yeah.
started in Buffalo then.
I think. Yeah, it's big in this area, Toronto, Buffalo. Yeah, but there's more Tim Hortons than McDonald's or Burger King's put together. Of course, it's a breakfast place, but yeah, very popular here.
We watch a lot of hockey, so you always see the Tim Hortons ads, like
Okay.
on the boards, and like it's just this big Canadian thing.
Yeah, I got hooked. I've got the app on my phone. You get Tim rewards. And for some reason, I couldn't get it through my head that the little donut bites that they have, which are, like munchkins, like the Dunkin' munchkins, they call them Timbits. I couldn't get Timbits through my head. And then I think it was because they were calling them Tim Biebs, because Justin Bieber was somehow connected with the promotion. So you could go in and buy some Tim Biebs and you get special custom Timbits for, 3 for $1 or whatever it was. They're good.
Which do you prefer, Dunkin' or Tim Hortons?
The options that you have at Tim Hortons is a little bit better in terms of breakfast sandwiches and donuts. They're a little bit more consistent than they are at Dunkin' Donuts. But,
How's the coffee?
coffee's good. They have a dark roast, so I like that. But other than the coffee, nobody should really eat any of that food because it's carb rich,
Right.
you know. So it's a rare thing. I think when I first moved up here, I was treating myself a little bit more than I do now. Now I'm trying to be healthy. So
Good. Tim Hortons, if you're listening, you want to sponsor us? We've just given you a lot of like free
free
advertising.
advertising, right, for our 15 listeners. And maybe 2 live up in this area.
Right. I think if I moved out of the area, I would miss Wawa.
Yeah.
Wawa is a big deal down here.
Oh, sure. We had a Cumberland Farms here. That was something that's similar to your neck of the woods, but now it's empty.
Yeah, I think when we were driving through New York, I saw Cumberland Farms. It
Mhm.
might have been outside Troy.
Yeah.
We drove up through Albany and then Troy and then up into Bennington, Vermont, and over Manchester and then over the mountain.
It's a nice way to go.
Beautiful. As soon as you get into Vermont, like the views open up and it's like, my God, the scenery was just
Well, you're
stunning.
in that valley. You're in a valley. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it was very striking.
Yeah. 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 When I would go through, I would go to Bennington and then north on 7.
That's how we
Yeah.
went.
To I don't know, it's Peru, Vermont. There's like
Yeah, we went through Peru, right?
oh, so you must be on the same route.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not too far from where Devon's at. It's maybe about 20 minutes
Okay.
from
Oh,
Peru.
right, Magic Mountain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know that road really well. Well, the next time you go up there, take a ride up to Woodstock and see that place. That's a
I
really
think they
beautiful.
say that's the nicest town in Vermont or the most picturesque town.
Might be. Might be. We used to belong to we still belong to a congregation there.
Oh, cool.
So, and we left the area, but we stayed, we were still members.
Nice.
So, and let me know a lot of people there. Beautiful place.
Yeah, so there's been some interesting changes this summer and it's exciting. Now it's going to be back to work for me, so the stress is building, but I think I'll handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me too. In fact, I just finished 4 classes today, and I've got a slew that start on Monday. It seems like all the terms just lined up on the 28th. And it's going to be a challenge, I think, because especially with Heidi here, because I'm going to want to be taking her out for a walk, and I'm going to have a lot to do. But that's how I crafted my career. So I can retire one day, I hope. Although I did have an experience that's making me want to retire much sooner. I'll share this with you because it's interesting from 2 perspectives. My wife is VPAA at Dewville, and so she's implementing some of the changes that I'm having to deal with at other schools, like minimum class sizes, that kind of thing. So I'm at one of the schools that I'm at, and I won't mention them because, well, if there's anybody listening, they'll know who they are. They recently tripled the size of classes, and which basically has the net impact on me of going from 4 classes in a term to 1. The only thing that changed was that they're going to give us 2 more days to grade. Like forgetting about the fact that there's also a lot more work that goes along into that. Now, I understand that it's an economic decision, but they're really putting it on the back of the instructors. So I'll see how it goes. I've got a class that starts up soon, and we'll see. Might be my last class there. I mean, I've been there for a long time and I've gotten exactly one increase in my pay. And it's because they pay you per class. So it's,
And of course, there was no pay raise for this taking
no,
on all these extra students.
no. I asked about it and they said, no, well, that hasn't been discussed. Okay.
Okay.
So you're doubling or tripling my work at least, depending on the class, and cutting my classes in half or a quarter in my case because of where I work. And so we'll see. I'm just hoping that my situation lasts just long enough so that I can finish up when I want to finish up, and be done. But I kind of feel like right now, with that, if that were sooner, that'd be okay. I'd be all right with it.
Well, you got to roll with the punches, like,
Oh, like anything, yeah.
there's these trend lines that we can't really bend.
Right.
And
Right.
we're all like victims of it.
Oh yeah. Can't escape.
Well, anyway, I think that's probably enough podcasting. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you. Hello to all our listener out there.
So yeah, if you have any questions, like send them to us, podularasa@gmail.com. And we hope you'll continue listening. We'll try to be back next month in September. It's going to be challenging because it's going to be busier, but we'll find a slot.
Sure, we'll see if we're treading water.
Great.
Here we go.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Jim.